Welcome back to the Sorry I'm Not Home podcast. It is episode 12. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm fucking horrible with this. And just, I feel like every one of them starts with me apologizing. So, you know what? I'm not sorry. It's my podcast. I can record it when I want, right? No. Um, so, what's going on in the world? Let's talk about coronavirus. We got to. We gotta get right into it. And I'm thinking that I don't know, man. Like, even if, okay, say I drop this today while I'm recording it, it's probably still already going to be wrong. Like, things just keep evolving with it, and, like, things are changing constantly. That it's like, if you give it any time, like, if you talk about it at some point in time, then when you talk about it at a later point, it's just like what you said, God damn it. What you said the first time is already wrong. Like, I guess I'll give you an example. Like before, it was like, oh shit, like this is in China, it's a problem. And then like a week later, they're like, all right, it's in the States, it's in the U.S. And it was like, God damn it, already. And then the just, I guess it just keeps evolving and just getting worse, but it's not like I just keep seeing like so many different views on it, right? Because it's like on one hand, it's not supposed to really be that dangerous. Like to anybody that's not old or doesn't have existing conditions, you shouldn't be having a problem, right? But then on the other hand, you're hearing that it spreads so fast and like it's like a bad cold is one way to describe it, and it's like if everybody got sick at the exact same time, if it's spreading like they're saying it is, like everything's gonna shut down, man. And that's the thing too. Like they're saying like it's not that bad, and then like businesses are shutting left and right, and like people are fucking acting like crazy. But we'll get to that. But like just like the initial, like I don't know. I keep like you got to look at like real sources and then like look at the way the media's like portraying it, and then you got to look how social media is portraying it, and like I don't know, man. Like I don't know what to feel because of course like things are going to get exaggerated through media because it creates I like panic creates a story, and it's fucked, but at the same time like if they can make something out of nothing, then hell yeah, they're going to do it. But at the same time, did I just say that twice? Nice. But like the other end of it, that like maybe it is this bad. Maybe they're not like being they're not being exaggerating. Nailing it, Jake. Really good at English, huh? But like okay, I really should have organized my thoughts beforehand, but I'm just kind of diving right into this. Oh, that's nice and loud. Oh, it's gonna keep going. I hope you guys can't hear that, but I'm assuming you can. So like, damn it, now I lost my train of thought. Um, what was I saying? Coronavirus, things with it. I don't know, man. Like, let's just talk about how crazy people are being, man. Like, this shit's fucking wild. Like, it honestly is. Like, the way that people are reacting to it scares the shit out of me. Because, like, I'm not really worried about getting sick. Like, if I get sick and I die, like, win-win, right? Like, no more bills. But, like, like, slowly dying just because you don't have resources is 10 times worse, man. Like, because it starts out with like the doomsday preppers, right? Like they're getting scared, they're worried, so they're like, all right, let's buy a ton of toilet paper, a ton of water, a ton of supplies, and like everybody's like, haha, you're overreacting, and then other people start doing it, and then like it gets so out of hand that you have no other option but to like go and buy in bulk because like you're fucked. If you don't buy in bulk, like you literally like can't get basic supplies like the toilet paper thing. I know it's all over the internet. I know it's all over the news. It's everywhere. There's like none left in these stores. And like they restock every night and it's immediately gone, and they restock throughout the day and it's gone, and it's just like causing a back order on it essentially, and it's weird because that's really not the first thing I'm going for, right? Like it say things are getting bad, right? And you need supplies. Toilet paper is so low on my list of fucking shit I need. Like I feel like there's alternatives, and let's get gross, right? If things got to that point, right? There's no more toilet paper, there's nothing else we can do. Like, I don't know, take a shit then take a shower, right? Like I don't it just seems straightforward. Like, use baby wipes. Okay, baby wipes are sold out. Like, buy a bidet. Like, like there's just other options. I feel like that I shouldn't be like, I wouldn't stress about toilet paper. But through all of this, right? Like, so Walmart's running out left and right, and so is Costco and Sam's. And I went to the Family Dollar and I was like, oh, this shit's like, it's fully stocked. Like, I'm not even stressing, right? And I was like, well, we're running low on toilet paper. And I got one package of 9, right? And went back the next day and everything was fucking gone. Like, somebody told somebody that the Family Dollar had supplies, and next thing you know, there's nothing left. And I'm like, oh fuck. Like, I bought a pack of 9, and I hope to God that lasts, because at this point in time, I don't have a big ass like variety pack, man. Like a variety pack, that would be sick. See, now that's something. Okay, we're gonna get off track, but could you imagine if they had a variety pack? You could just try out the different brands, find what you like. Anyway, the like I'm a little stressed on that, because I'm like, well, what happens when I do run out? Like, is anywhere gonna have any? Like, should I be panicking? And like, we drink bottled water at our house just because we're too lazy to like fill up Brita and shit. Like, that's really what it comes down to. And like, I just bought 2 cases as normal, Like, I'm like, okay, get 2 cases, and then like now I'm like, oh fuck, like there's no water either. So like, this shit's stressful just in that sense, like the little things, and like deodorants going and toothpaste, and there's no meat on the shelves, and there's no canned food, and I'm like, people really out here preparing for the end of the goddamn world, and like I'm saying, like that's gonna be our fucking footnote word of the podcast. That it's like, on one hand, I'm like, you're crazy, but on the other, I'm like, well, fuck. Like, do they know something I don't? Like, should I be worried? And so I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what the like, I don't know, like, best option is, or best advice to give in this situation, but it's like, just ride the wave and see where it goes. Like, even if we get quarantined, because I feel like that's what they're prepping for, is like, when we get when Jesus, if we get quarantined, like, they think that you're like stuck in your house. Problem is like, we're not China, right? So you can't like force your like the citizens of like our country to stay inside their house at all costs. Like, basically a quarantine would come down to like, you have certain hours that you're allowed to be out. Businesses will shut down, just like to slow things down. It's not really stay in your fucking house till this is done. Like, because in that sense, they would have to provide the people with supplies. They would have to, like, I don't know, get to that next step. And it's wild to see, because it's like, I feel like this is the closest we've come to a zombie apocalypse. And sorry, um, like, I kind of want to see it happen. Like, there's a part of me, like the dull, like dark side of me, that just kind of want to see like society come like crumble. Like, that would be so fucking wild. Like, because it would start off slow. Like, it would start off with this shit where people are buying supplies and people are freaking out and all of that, and then like they start closing down businesses, and they start like stopping, or like people just stop going to work. And then eventually, like, money wouldn't be the currency, and you'd have to start trading supplies and for other stuff, and like your water would get shut off, then the power would go off. God, I hope you don't have anxiety listening to this, because I'm just making it 10 times worse, giving you this fucked up hypothetical. But I don't know, like, it would be so wild to see what people's reactions are, because there'd be, I feel like, in a sense, like, people would turn to like primitive, like, what is it called? Primitive instincts. You know, like I don't know. It's just like, would people become savages, or like, would we come together as a community? Because like, as of this point in time, we're definitely not coming together as a community. It's fucked at this point. You know, like people. Okay, here's a great example. At our local Costco, the one like right across the street, it there was okay, so let me get this right. So there was this lady. She got the last pack of water, like the last like 40 pack, had it in her cart, and some dude tried to steal it out of her cart. She said no. She was like, "Fuck off," and then they hit her over the back of the head trying to knock her out. This is in the parking lot, right? Like it knocked her in the back of the head, and then they tried to take her purse at the same time, and she held onto the cart for like dear life and just got dragged through the parking lot while the person was trying to drag the cart. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's water. They're gonna restock it. You know, like, we're not at the point that like the companies don't have like the water, you know? And so just like seeing that shit, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like, would those people be like the strongest if society collapsed because they are like ruthless, or would like the people band together in order to like survive, and like people like that would just get killed essentially because they're fucking assholes and don't understand the bigger goal? Like, I don't know, man. This shit is something else. I got a new tattoo on my arm. I'm starting my sleeve, and this motherfucker's so itchy. Like, I just have to slap it so I don't just like scratch the shit out of it, you know? Anyway, I don't like, okay. And then here's my other thing to bitch about. It's shitty to see how people are reacting, and it kind of shows you like the companies that you work for, right? Because like um Apple, like they shut down all their stores in order to like stop like cross contamination, and like it started with they limited the amount of people that could be in the store at one time. So it was only 60 people per store, and employees had to stand over 3 feet away, like an arm's length or more. I feel like that's not 3 feet, but like over 3 feet away from each other, and from the customers and everything. Like they just couldn't get close to each other, and they installed hand sanitizer stations, and like they were doing like precautionary like things in order to like prevent, you know, cross contamination. And then within the next week, they decided, you know what, we're going to shut down all the stores until the 27th. Give it some time, you know, like 2 weeks, like calm the fuck down, right? And they did it, man. And like they're going to pay their employees the whole time, like what they were scheduled for. And they give a shit about their employees. They give a shit about their customers. Like they're just like, it's not worth it. I promise you, our iPhones, our fucking MacBooks are not worth getting sick over, you know? Then my company I work for, Larry H. Miller, fucking sent out an email that the first one they sent out was make sure you're washing your hands, right? And that was the gist of it. Then they sent out a second one, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna install hand sanitizer stations at our dealerships and our locations." And we're like, "Oh, okay, like that's a little something." And then at the bottom of the email, it said, "If you have left the country from a country that was contaminated, or like it just a zone that was like high risk, when you come back, take an additional 14 days off." Here's the thing. They didn't say take an additional 14 days paid off. They said once you come back from wherever the fuck you were, take an additional 14 days off. So use your own vacation time, use your own sick days in order to get paid, and then come back to work. What kind of fucking bullshit is that? Like, literally nobody would do that. And like, it's because of having shitty policies like this that people are gonna like still go to work, and that's how like the contamination gets worse. Is people are too scared to not get paid, and like don't want to use their own like time off because that's theirs. Like they earned that. They wanted to use that probably to go on a vacation or whatever. They don't want to use that for being sick, you know, like, or not even sick, just precautionary. It's like, fuck you, you know. And it's like I've heard people talk about it at work. Like they're like, honestly, like if I had any symptoms, I'm still fucking coming to work. And it's like that's the problem. Like you're part of the problem, and the company's part of the problem. Like they don't give a shit. All right, so this is like email number 2, I feel like, and then we get a third email. And this third email, because my company owns the Utah Jazz, and um, the Utah Jazz had a player that was infected with corona disease. Corona disease, nice, fucking nailing it, dude. With the coronavirus, um, then they then blah blah blah. They took the precautionary measures of shutting down the fucking events, and like at first it was just the teams playing and no people in the stadiums. And then the NBA got involved because of the Utah Jazz and was like, you know what? Fuck this. Season's done. The fucking NBA shut down a season. Like, even if they postponed it. Like, they shut it down in the busiest fucking time of the entire season. March Madness. Like, are you fucking kidding me? A billion, probably even closer to like $1 trillion business was like, you know what? We care more about people's safety than we do about money. A fucking enterprise decided they care more about people's health than money. Dude, that should put it into perspective for literally any other goddamn business. Of being like, okay, you know what? Maybe we'll take the precautionary measures. You know, hey, I don't know if this will fix it, taking time off from work, but hey, it might slow it the fuck down while somebody gets a handle on it. You know, and so we get that email about the Utah Jazz and the NBA shutting down. And they said in there, anybody related to that, like who works for us in dealing with the NBA or dealing with like the entertainment side of things, please work from home at a bare minimum. Please work from home. Right. And we're like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, all they addressed was that side of things and not their dealerships. The biggest part of their income, their fucking dealerships. All they said to the dealerships were like, "Oh yeah, keep working, wash your hands," and and that's the company that I work for. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, you don't care? You don't care about the rest of your employees? Like, I get that. Yeah, pretty much anybody working in the NBA is probably around a lot of fucking people, and like the stadiums are quite packed, but." I mean, there's still a lot of interaction at a dealership. Like me and parts, there's a lot of interaction between the people and the interaction between service and the customers, and then the sales department, like being in and out of cars and working on their cars, being in and out of them again in parts, talking face to face, working with people. It's like, dude, there's a lot of chance of like cross contamination with this shit, and they don't fucking care. And then we get this great fucking email on Friday, right? And I'm thinking it's the one, right? Because they've shut down all the schools in like my city, at least. They've shut them down for fucking 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks they've shut them down. And I don't know about you, but for the school district to shut down for 3 fucking weeks, that's huge. That's huge. Like, I know there's rumors about it, like just being added on, and like towards the end of summer, you know. And like, yeah, that's shitty, but at the same time, it is school. But like, they're taking like that hit in the middle of a goddamn like school year, you know. Just all right, yeah, 3 weeks off, fuck it, like, and and it's not like it's like a vacation 3 weeks. It's a essentially like a quarantine in a way to like stop cross contamination at schools because kids are fucking disgusting, you know. But like, so this email says, we know that a lot of schools in different states are shutting down temporarily, and a lot of other businesses, but we're gonna stay persistent and maintain business and working hard. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was a 2-line email that just said that. Like, it didn't give any advice. It didn't give an explanation. It didn't give any predictions. It was literally like, hey, keep going to work, you fucks. You know, you work for us. You make our fucking money. And it's like, this is coming from a corporate level, you know, and like drizzling down. And I'm sorry, but the corporate level doesn't make the money for the company. It's the lowest level of employees that make you your money, and they make enough money to pay the salaries of the people in corporate. Like, they run like they're basically just glorified managers. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is ridiculous that they even like aren't taking it seriously, because like this is where I'm torn on. here we go again. On one hand, I'm like, it's not that serious. On the other, I'm like, this could be the end of the goddamn world. And I know the disease isn't really that bad. Like, I'm not stressing. Well, I shouldn't say that because it is bad. It just depends on like your circumstances. But like, I'm not stressing for me personally, right? And like, I don't think that this is gonna be that big of a problem in the sense of like sickness for me. Like for me as one person. Like I'm not thinking about my family, my parents, all of that shit, my grandparents. But it's like the like fact that all these big fucking companies are shutting down. I'm like, well, maybe we should follow their lead. But then judging by the previous shit, I'm like, oh, even if we did shut down, they're not going to pay us. Like the fact that they're making us still work and all that. I'm like, I don't know about this. Like even if we shut down, is it worth it? Am I just going to lose money? And is that where we sit? Like, fuck, dude. Like, what's the counter option? And there's a big part of me that thinks maybe I'm just batting and angry because I want free paid time off, greedy as fuck. But like, I don't know. At the same time, I'm like stressing because I'm like, maybe it's worse than like we're thinking it is. Like, I get that the media is blowing it out of proportion, probably, but like, real companies and real like systems are shutting down. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how to feel, man. So I guess we should start wrapping this up. I think we're about like 20 minutes right now, but try to end it on a positive note because that was just like a stress me out, stress you out kind of thing. But I don't think it's gonna get that bad, honestly. Like, just contradict everything I just said. But like, I don't. I think that people panic, they get stressed out. The news makes it worse, and like these companies are kind of just listening to that and taking like precautions based on what could be. And I think it'll be all right. I don't think it's really going to drag out that long. It's in a sense, it's nothing like we've ever seen before. Of course, like I know that Ebola was a fucking huge thing here in the States. Like all the rest of the countries were like, "You're good, don't even stress it." And then I think we had 2 cases in the U.S. and they were like, "We're gonna fucking die," And so I don't know, man. Like I'm not gonna stress about it. I'm just gonna ride the wave and see how things play out. And I suggest you do the same. Just wash your hands, be safe, and look out for the people that you love. And on that note, we're done, dude. Um, Might as well plug my shit. It's my podcast. Follow me on all social media at Jake's Pimpin'. Check out my TikToks. They be slapping. Um, Tell a friend to wash their hands. And if you find hand sanitizer, let me know, dude. But till next time, guys, thanks for joining me on the Sorry I'm Not Home podcast. It's been episode 12. I'll see you when I record it next time. Peace.